We are continuing on with our narrative writing unit. Today we are going to complete slide 14, and 15 or 16 are example slides for showing instead of telling. So we're going to do a little mini lesson first. All right, so show, don't tell. That means you are going to show your reader how you're feeling instead of telling them how you're feeling. You're going to put them in the moment with you as if they are experiencing this instead of making them a bystander who just is reading about it. So let me give you guys some examples. So you could say, I felt sad, or you could show the reader you felt sad by saying, my heart ached with sorrow. Tears streamed down my face. You could show the reader you were scared, tell the reader you were scared by saying, I was scared. But it's so much better to say something like, shivers ran down my spine as I cowered under my covers. So that's really what I want you guys to do, is I really want you to at least go in and try to do this at least a couple of times. Really show the reader how you were feeling or what you were doing without just telling them. A way to do that also is to use strong verbs. So a strong verb is a better and more descriptive version of a basic verb that creates a stronger visual, and it can help create a mood or vibe for the scene. Using strong verbs will definitely make your writing more intriguing and interesting. So here are some more examples. All right. So it would be weak to just say, I walked into the room. One of the ways you could do it with a strong verb is I charged into the room. Notice how that gives a very commanding feeling to it. I glided into the room. Has like a grace and elegance and confidence behind it. I slinked into the room. It's sneaky, or maybe the person's trying not to get caught, or maybe they're scared. I danced into the room, shows a joy. So all of these communicate different things in different ways. So it depends on how you felt when you walked in that room, what kind of verb you use. So another example, I ran to my room. So that's weak. There are better words I can use than ran. Strong, I scurried to my room. Scurried means like, you're running quickly and maybe because you're scared, maybe because you're going to get in trouble, something like that. I dashed to my room, shows a great deal of speed. I galloped to my room. Again, that speed. I bolted. Sorry, I misspelled bolted there. I bolted to my room. Always check your spelling there, kiddos. So I bolted to my room is another way. So all of those show different kinds of speed and different kinds of running. So that's what I'm going to have you guys do. We're going to go into our writing now. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the slide 14. And how you're going to do that. All right, so you're going to find 3 feelings that you want to express in your narrative in the top 3 boxes, and then list words or phrases that fit and describe that feeling. So one of the feelings in my essay that I wanted to express was the feeling of fear. So I try to think of verbs I could use to show fear, like sweating, shivering, heart racing. Somehow my comment got stuck to heart racing. There should be after shivering. I wanted to show panic. So I could have shallow breathing, crying. I wanted to show relief at the end, laughing, smiling, breathing deep. So that's some of the ways we can do. So think of some verbs that you can use that would show those feelings. Come up with 3 feelings that you want the reader to know that you felt in your writing, and some verbs that could go with that. And then I'm going to have you guys go into your writing and find some weak verbs. So what I had to do here is I had to go back to my writing and find some verbs. So one of the verbs I found here is this one, as I pulled up my ski pole. So I'm going to go back. Oh. Just a second. All right. Oops. All right. So I pulled up my ski pole. I could say I yanked up my ski pole. When I said got, if you'll look at the got here, let me show you guys that. Try to find my got again. There it is. So right here it says, as I got off the lift. Instead of saying that, I could say as I slid off the lift. So I'm going to go back and actually start changing these. So instead of saying pulled up my ski pole, and I'm going to ask you guys to do this as well. As you change things, will you please put them in red ink? No matter what color your ink is, put the changed verbs in red font. So I yanked up my ski pole. As I got off the lift, I decided I was going to say as I slid off the lift. And I decided to change filled with weld, which you guys will see here in a second why I did that. So let me find, whoops, here it is. So my eyes filled with tears. I could say my eyes welled with tears. Weld means like they fill up with tears. So it's the same thing, but it's just a better verb. And then I have sat. So I have that, I remember, in my introduction. So you can do this throughout any of your writing. So here I have the mountain, this nearly 6,000 feet high mountain sat before me. And I decided that loomed would be better. So I'm going to go and I'm going to change that to loomed before me. And then ran or run. All right. So I remember that was in my conclusion. So I put, I've run into a tree, but I decided that slammed would be better. And I do remember that is what happened. My hair smelled like pine tree for the rest of the day. So I slammed into a tree. So that's what I'm going to have you guys do, is I'm going to have you go in there and try to change these verbs. So just to show you guys my examples one more time. So yeah, that's what I'm going to have you do. And then you're going to go in to your writing as you change it. Let me just go back some slides here. And as you change verbs, will you please make sure that you highlight them, or not highlight them, but that you put them in red font so we can tell. I'm going to ask you guys to change at least 3. Now, I have changed 5, and you are going to try to do this with 5 of these, but I am going to ask you guys to change at least 3. And there are some examples here of strong verbs. So if you're feeling stuck at all, feel free to look through these. You can go out there and Google strong verbs if this list isn't enough. I found one place. Here, let me just show you guys. When I Google strong verbs, I found one that had 300 examples of strong verbs. The list of strong verbs. Or you can go through, and there's all sorts of different places you can look through all these strong verbs. And there are so many different lists. This one has 116 verbs to energize your writing. It's the same thing. So that's what I'm going to have you guys do, is go in there, change those verbs up. And by doing that, you really do show the reader instead of tell them about the story. When we use strong verbs, we really do put our reader in that moment with us. And if you can step into the shoes of the person's story that you are reading, it really does help you experience it, and it makes it so much more authentic. So that's what we're doing today. And I hope you guys have some luck with this. My hope is that this may take you a couple of days to do. So I'm going to ask you guys to have this done by next Tuesday. So go in there, change at least 3 of your verbs, and make sure that your changes are in red font. All right. Have a great day.